starting to believe y'all need to cut the deal with me.
Hello, you guys, and welcome to the Simply Her Empowerment Connection Show. I am your host, Nikki A. Kaiser. What's going on? Listen, I am super excited about tonight's show. Do me a huge favor. Go ahead on and like, tag, and share the video. Hey, everybody in our YouTube world, please do me a favor to hit the subscription button. Go ahead on and subscribe and the notification bell so that you can hear us when we come on. Listen, I am super excited as always when it is time to bring together nonprofit organization, grassroots connectors. Father God, I'm excited about tonight. Why? Because Kay Matthews is in the building. Yes, she is in the building. We're super excited about tonight's conversation. We're going to get a chance to talk about, if you're not familiar with the nephew, Duke, the dog nephew, he's going to be on tonight. I'm going to see if we can get a little coverage with him on there. If not, we're going to talk a lot about him and we're going to talk about her baby. We're going to talk about a lot of great things. And we definitely want to make sure that we're going to be providing some resources for our communities. Thank you again for joining us each and every Sunday. This is a perfect time to go ahead on and like, tag, and share the video, get somebody in here. And yes, we want to say thank you to our amazing sponsors, J&A Robinsons. Thank you so much for your amazing contribution each and every day to be a blessing to us here at the Simply Her Empowerment Connection Show. Thank you to Elite Professional Services. Big shouts out to Elite Professional Services for an amazing job you guys did on yesterday at your annual back to school backpack drive. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts at Simply Her Movement for being a part of that amazing movement. So we thank you so much for being a proud sponsor and partner with us. And we are so excited about next year. Listen, again, you guys, don't miss out on an opportunity to be a part of the amazing things that we're doing here at the Simply Her Empowerment Connection Show. If you would like to be one of our amazing guests, do me a favor and send us an email at simplyhermovement@gmail.com. That's simplyhermovement@gmail.com. And you too can be an amazing guest on our show. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am going to bring in our amazing guest. Miss Kay Matthews is in the building, y'all. Come on, Miss Kay. Let me get you in there. There she is.
Hey
Hey,
y'all.
girl. Listen, I'm super excited about you being here, Kay.
I am excited to have this conversation with you as well, Nikki. Thank you for the invite.
Yes, and thank you so much for saying thank you, saying thank you, and also for coming on because again, you so busy, baby. Listen, I'm gonna say it publicly. This lady right here is not a small fry. She is a big stepper, and so I am so honored to have you on our show tonight. So, Kate, I'm gonna
Mhm.
let you go ahead on and introduce yourself. Let the
Okay.
people know who you are, and I'm gonna get our friends in so that we can get this party started right. Okay?
Okay, that works for me. So,
All right, girl, go ahead.
Kay Matthews, Executive Director and founder of the Shades of Blue Project. Our primary focus is focusing on Black maternal mental health. So we see mental health in so many different ways, but our focus around maternal mental health has gone so under recognized within our communities. I myself suffered from postpartum depression after delivering my daughter stillborn, so no one was certainly tying in maternal mental health to a stillbirth. And because I struggled, I felt like no one should have to feel like that. And so I wanted to do something about it. But first, I had to get to a place where my own healing took first place first, because it is one thing to serve, but it's another to serve when you're in a place where you're healed versus not healed. So I had to get to a place where I was healed in order to help others. So in reality, I've literally built this organization little by little, learning along the way. Again, this is not something I woke up and said I wanted to do with my life. It is just where life took me. And instead of that experience taking me in a very dark place, which it did, I was able to come out of it and then want to do something about it. So organic is really who we are, is who I am. I hold the executive director title because that's what the funders need to hear. But out here in these streets, I'm just Miss K or K, depending on how long you've been knowing me, Or if you call me by my birth name, I may actually look twice because that's kind of weird. But nevertheless, I just am who I am, and I just feel like when you see an issue, if you have the ability to change it, you should work towards it, or work with some people who can help you and all the things. So that's my long, short version of my intro, Miss Nikki.
Girl, you know I love it. Listen, that is the real deal. The fact that you said I had to heal first, see, there you go, throwing them nuggets out real fast. I gotta get healed before I be trying to sit up here and be your therapist.
Yes, 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 man. Hurt people just make things worse. Like you can't be out here doing certain things, man. I really truly don't believe in that. It'll feel good in the beginning, but then it'll turn into resentment and all the other negative feelings. And so yeah, you got to get healed first before you out here trying to help folks, because the people who didn't cut you, you'll bleed all over them. That's a
Ooh,
real thing. That's not just a saying. These cliches when it comes to, I think we sit and we talk about cliches a lot in this work because those very cliches be killing us sometimes. And we need to hear them like in different contexts. Like it needs to hit home for us to really understand that I actually probably shouldn't even be saying that because it don't really fit. But we've been saying some things for so long that now it's like, why do you even say that? Do you know why you say that? But what I know for sure is people who didn't cut, man, that one right there, that's real talk. That's a
mhm.
lesson to learn right there.
That's a big lesson. And I
Yep.
love the fact that you're teaching that lesson tonight because Shades of Blue Project is important and especially to our parents. So I want to definitely encourage women that are on tonight who may have someone in your family who has experienced postpartum, who
Mhm.
has experienced maternal, who has experienced something dealing with birthing
Mhm.
of a child, and especially in the loss of a child.
Mhm.
Tonight, I want to encourage you to really, truly like, tag, and share this video, share it with someone, and let's get down to the real business of how we can really honestly be a blessing and help each other heal and get our mental together. Kay, I know for surely that here during the pandemic that you and your service team has been a big pillar and push to a lot of people in the communities, right?
Mhm.
Because we do honestly experience so many things in our day-to-day lives, but then to be hit, and I say to be crashed with a pandemic and to have to come in the house and face the real live music and the mirrors, like it seems as if what is that factory, the mirror factory of all
Mhm.
the time there was a mirror around you because you were enclosed and you had to come to the real realization of what life was, right?
Right.
And so I know that you and your team were pretty busy about doing that work. Just kind of give us an idea of what your service pattern was, and what your future goals is, because I know for surely that this really seriously it opened up some things.
Yes. Well, first I would say during the pandemic, some folks got introduced to their mental health. We were in
Mm,
such rotation, but when the whole world stopped, not just a state or two, the whole world stopped. That
yes.
was
Hey,
so,
Queen.
so detrimental to so many people's well-being, and
Yes.
not knowing what to do with that was a struggle for many. This is actually how we have gone from being the in-person organization. Now I've traveled all around the world and do this work, but prior to the pandemic, I just went out, right? So not being able to leave the house for a year and what that looked like, and switching our services to online is how we went from 12 states that we were serving to now 25 states.
Wow.
Because what happens is people could log in from all around the world, right? As long as you
Yeah.
had a computer and some internet, you could still get some type of help. Of course, we navigated the thing about serving folks because we do all of our services are free. Our diapers, wipes, clothing, all of those things are free as well. So we had to get real creative on how can we still serve folks in a way that they need, because the need just grew really, really big. We went from our in-person groups to having 12 or 15 folks participating a month to having months where we started to have two and three groups per day. And a
Wow.
lot of that I was juggling because it was different in person. But when we got online, the need grew, and so did my need to have more people get involved. So I'm training folks and bringing them all in, and we really worked, Vicky, like a pandemic was not happening. And by the time life really slowed down, we was in 2021. And
Yes.
so all of that building
I
of
know.
or the
Wow.
of the thing of saying be ready so you don't have to get ready, that was a true life statement for us. It was something that I already wanted to do, was to expand our services to online, but didn't really know like what was the play and how that was going to happen. So I was still in the planning stages. But again, the world stopped, and so it was like, okay, execute it how you can and just work out the kinks as you go along. And that's what we
Mhm.
did. It was a huge shift for us to be able to really engage with people in so many ways, but understanding that all, no matter where these folks were, they were experiencing the same thing. Again, the
Mhm.
pandemic added an extra layer, especially for birthing individuals when you couldn't have a partner even go into the hospital with you. You had to give birth by yourself.
Ooh.
Then you didn't know like what that was going to look like or what that was going to feel like, right? And anything could happen, right? Right. First of all, black women are dying 3 to 5 times more than white women are anyway. So you could
Ooh.
go in to have your baby and not even come out, and nobody knows what the hell happened because you couldn't have a support
Wow.
system. So mentally, how that affected folks, not just mentally, but physically, spiritually, all the whole 9 yards. I mean, it was a hell of a time. I can just be completely honest with you. To see
Oh
people who
yes,
you
please be
wouldn't,
honest. Now let me tell you, honey, we are a show of real. So you've been on this show before,
yeah,
girl. We keep it real 100. And so yes, ma'am, because we like for the people to know that we give it out real
yeah,
information, real resources, and real reality because that's our wholeness that we want to provide here is the real, the
yeah.
truth. You're
Yeah, it was
right.
a struggle. People were struggling. People you wouldn't even think twice to think like, oh no, they good. No, they was on my calls too. We had to end up opening up our mental health components to like our leaders, because you know what, we out here in these streets doing this work, but so often we are so concerned about our clients that we're not looking after ourselves. And so
Yeah.
the toll that that takes on us, somebody got to be able to be like, say sis, come join me on a call. Like, let's talk this out. Let's breathe. Let's listen to music. I mean, I did so many leaders call. I had a 2 hour time block. You could just log in. If you wanted to talk, we could talk. If you didn't and you just wanted to listen to my playlist, that was fine too. Whatever you needed, that was a place that you could come. So for me, that's the biggest thing, showing up. That's our commitment, showing up. I don't
Yeah.
care if the people don't come. They know where to come because you show up. And they
Mhm.
know if they don't need you now and they may need you down the line, they know exactly where to come to. And so that's what
Ooh.
that during the pandemic that really taught us, is just to be present, just to be there when folks do decide that, you know what, I actually am struggling. Because again, being introduced to your mental health, you don't know what the hell you're supposed to be doing. Is this me? Should I go over here? Is it a therapist that I need? Is it a support group? Do I need to just talk? All those different things running through your head before you realize, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do, so let me just try some things. So, we had a lot of people just trying, like, what was a support group? What would a support group look like? What would it feel like if it was for them? Did they need more? Because an intro to your mental health, you may discover that a one-on-one is actually what you need. So a
Yes,
counselor is who you should be talking to, and then you can couple it with the support group, but you actually need some one-on-one action.
that's
Um,
it.
so that was a lot. I'm not in the business of hoarding people. So if a support group is not what you need over here with us, let me connect you to what it is you need. Because I don't need the numbers. I need to help people. So I
Come
don't
on
have
now.
to have a
Say that.
hundred plus.
Say that part again, Kay. You don't
Yeah, I
need the
don't need the
what?
numbers. I don't need the numbers. I need to help people. I don't need 100 plus people. I'm good with 20. That's 20 people that I can stay connected to. Follow you around, see what it is
Yeah.
you need. If you don't need nothing this month, that's great. But you may need something next month. Whenever you need it, we're here. And so yeah, it wasn't about having a bunch of people to just say I'm serving this amount of people for that. That's never my focus, because in that sometimes you lose the quality of care. Like I
Yeah.
said, executive director is the title for me with these funders, but who I am is somebody that understands that we are emotional creatures, and
Yeah.
we need something. And so disconnecting from the work is something I could never do, because when I disconnect from the people, then what is the work? So
Wow.
having a bunch of numbers don't mean nothing to me. Am I still connected to the community and not just saying the community because it sounds good and it's the hottest, fattest thing that's out here right now? No, I am the
Yeah,
community.
that is a real that's a real thing, Kay, that is going around like crazy. Uh, I'm in the community where with your camera, let's cut it off. Let's get to
Mhm,
work. You can't
mhm,
work and hold the camera at the same time.
mhm,
Trust me,
mhm.
I try. I try
Right.
to meet the goal of, like you said, I try to meet the goal of the funder, but at the same time, it's like the quality of who I'm serving, it's not gonna work. So therefore, let's put it down. And I love where you stated in there that you have to identify what you need. I
Mhm,
like the fact that you're saying we are available. There are so many options available, but it's going to be on you on how you're going to identify your support group. And so I just think that that is amazing in itself. I say it quite often that you are your first rescue. You,
mhm.
baby, you got to rescue yourself first and identify self and the need of self. So I love the fact that that's something that is becoming a household universal language when it comes down to us who are working for quality programming. And
Mhm.
I found that out from, several people that I do partner and connect with. And then I'm hearing it again today from you that says, no, you have to identify
Yeah.
if this is going to work out for you. Because
Mhm.
yes, we can always do an assessment, making a what is it, a referral for
Mhm.
something, but really seriously, how does it work? And then I like, Kay, when you said about the processing of how this group can sit for you. Do
Mhm.
you just need to sit and listen to music? Because that's some things that we really believe that I know the stigmatism of therapy back in the gap, and it kind of tried to come over into the pandemic, especially when I've talked with clients of my own saying, oh, no, therapy, that's for crazy people. Why? We
Mhm.
all crazy. So now what's going on?
Right.
Because here it is. We've have been declared crazy as a whole because we don't know what to do next
Yeah.
when just what you said, the whole world has shut down. So we all got to look crazy on us. So what are we doing?
Mhm. Yep.
So no, that's not something that can happen. So
It
talk about that, Kay, when it comes down to really seriously introducing this new form of new normal into life for people who they just scared.
Right, because fear will halt us. Fear will hold us back. It won't move us forward. It's all the things that fear controls us in a negative way, as well. The first thing you got to do is check your circle, check your environment. Is it the
Yes.
environment that is affecting it the way you so often we know what it is we need. Hell, if don't nobody else know, we know, right? But
Yep.
is the influence to not get what it is you need coming from around you? So it really sometimes is really about checking your environment in your circle and seeing is that the first thing you need to cleanse. And then if it's not that, then is it internally? Because in our organization, we do self checks every 90 days. No need to do something for a year and be like, this not working. 90 days, if this ain't working, okay, do we see where we need to move a little bit further or we need to keep working at it? Like, what's our progress?
Yeah.
Because time is the one thing you cannot get back.
Yeah.
And when you waste it, that means you have no value on it, all these other things that go through my mind. But
Absolutely.
under the understanding of that as well, so many people tell us that, where was you when I had my baby? And these could be 40, 50-year-old woman. I was like, well, actually, I wasn't born yet. But nevertheless, it lets us know and understand that this is not something new. These struggles have been out here long before you and I have even been thought of, right?
Right.
But the things that I always say, so this mental health thing is like an open wound. On the outside, it may heal, right? But on the inside, it's no good. And so when you go to the doctor for a wound that's not healed properly, what they do, they scrape that off and then they
Yeah.
start the healing process over again. That's what we got to continuously do in this thing called mental health. Sometimes we got to scrape off the things we. That's one layer of healing. Now, where's okay? Let me scrape that off. That's done. Where's my next set of healing? And understanding that healing is a journey and it's a process and it's a continuum. And so, at this
Yes,
level of
ma'am.
healing, you may need this, but that next level of healing, you need this, and so on and so on. So, understanding that, but you got to do it for yourself. I remember when I first started this organization, I used to carry so much of what people had going on home with me or just with me,
Mm,
period, till I had to understand what role do I actually play in doing this? Because I have my own story, right? I had my own struggle. I had all these things. That's enough for me to carry right there.
right.
So, what do I need to do to stop carrying everyone else's load around with me? And I had to figure out what part of this what's my role? Like, really, what is my role? And so to me, the organization is 5% of someone's healing, meaning we give you resources, we connect you, we do all of the pieces within our power. That other 95% is on you, because it is one thing for me to want something for you, but if you don't want it for yourself, it don't matter what I want. We have to be in
Mm,
tandem. We have to be in partnership when it comes to this thing. And so we never want to serve people just how they need. We also want to serve them how they want. You don't get a need without a want. So both of those things are going to help us to build a working relationship where I can come to you and say, hey, I notice your behavior in group. Is everything okay? Do we need to get you an appointment with one of the counselors? You know what I'm saying? One or two sessions, things like that. Being able to identify those things, because we have working relationships and communication with our clients and they're not just a number. So that's like big picture.
and
That's
I
like
like that.
embedded
I
in
like
what we
that.
do.
How do you, Kay? How do you get your clients at this point? I know that doing the fact of the matters of you started off with the pandemic of the increase, but how did people find out about what you guys are doing, the Shades of Blue? How did they find out about um the actual Shades of Blue? And then tell us how that name came about.
Okay.
Where did that name come from? Who said let's be Shades of Blue? Listen,
Yes. No,
I'm
when I
rocking my
tell
blue,
people,
man,
yeah, I
because
see.
that is a part of who I am. I am blue, and pink, of course, is one of my
Mhm.
majors, but
Yes.
definitely, I'm a blue girl for real. And so, how did you come up with that?
Yeah. So we came up. Well, first of all, people find us word of mouth. It's I went over here and I got service and they were great. Y'all need to go check them out. Always been that way. So it's the word of mouth referrals. As we've grown in the past couple of years, it's hospital clinics and places like that referring to us. But when we first started, it was all word of mouth. And actually, we got started with an organization. I know our main organization is actually called Baby Cakes and Brunch. So I'm a retired chef now. I retired in 2017. I
Hmm.
used to host brunches throughout Houston, and get folks to create baby cakes, which were diaper cakes. We would then host community baby showers and give the donated baby cakes out to the clients who were coming. Right. I always was behind the organization because it's just how I was. I was like, you don't always have to know. You want to know, but it's not imperative for me to do the work. I don't have to be at the forefront, and people don't need to know that I created it, right? I just want to do the work. um but in 2017, also, when I decided I was not going to go back to anybody's job, no more corporate world and all of that, is when I really wanted to focus on the mental health part of it, because that's really where I fit. I was still serving the community by having a community baby showers, but conversationals around the birthing experience and things like that was really my niche. And so just one day, I can tell you, I know exactly where I was when it popped into my head. I was at 45 in North Main going downtown. And I was just like, what about the shades of blue? Because at that time, the sky was really, really bright blue, but to the left, it looked like it was going to rain, right? And I was like, actually, it's all sunny and all these things right in front of me, but how I'm really feeling is to the left of me. And I was like, shades
Wow.
of blue, because there are different shades that we feel in this mental health game. There's different shades that we feel just in our life, and we associate blue with being down and all those different things. And it's not always that. It could be happy, it could be somewhere in between. So that's how the Shades of Blue project came into play. I did some photos where I took keywords in my story and wrote them on my hands, and on my chest, and I took photos, and I introduced the world to the Shades of Blue project, and we ain't stopped rocking and rolling since. So that was when I stepped in front of the work and came from behind the scenes.
Yes, ma'am. And that is, yes, that is right. Right, cousin, that is good. That is so good. And I promise you guys, if y'all have not had an opportunity to come to one of her brunches or to just interact with her organization, please, please, please put this in your to-do list on your bucket check off.
Mhm.
This organization is one that you really want to come and be a part of, because if you're, and y'all gonna follow her, I know you're gonna follow her, because we're continuing this conversation tonight with some real good nuggets and everything, because that's what we do. We are
Mhm.
all about resources, sharing information, and really seriously helping people get to the next level. So with the Shades of Blue, if you're watching her and start watching her, they are doing a transformation and building that boutique there. And it's, I just was like, man, we we got some things going on around in this city, this state, baby. We doing it big, like department store style, and everything is just at a all time uniqueness of how it's being given and served to families. Like, that is the best thing I love to see, especially when I am on you guys' pages, paying attention and seeing how we are presenting ourselves. Presentation is everything.
Mhm.
Big shouts out to my mentor who says that all the time, Cheryl Jackson. And what I say is that we do quality over quantity all
Yes.
day, because it's already, like you said, I got a shade of blue of how I'm feeling over here on the left side, but everything in my eyes supposed to be sunny, shiny, great, and all that. But just the fact that I'm being given something number style.
Yeah.
Number 27, here you go.
Right.
Well, that
Yep.
water's been used, ma'am. It's water.
Right.
No.
Don't you need water? Take this water.
Yeah. And and the thing of it is that, and I'm the one that's really big, Kay, that will tell someone, be grateful, be thankful. Be grateful, be thankful, because you never know when someone else is not. Hello, Monica. Who, when someone else is not going to have that same resource as you, but you're
Mhm.
blessed with it, right?
Mhm.
But I just love the fact that you are taking out time, you and your team are taking out that time organizing. I just love to see the transformation, the beautiful setup. I was like, oh, this is too cute. Wait a minute now. We gotta get the storehouse boutique up over here, Simply Her. Like that's not a competition. That's
Yeah.
a motivation and a push. Like, my girl is doing it big. Let me go ahead and get our showroom floor looking good.
Let me.
Because could you just imagine, Kay, like everyone who has an amazing grassroots organization that's getting ready to elevate to that next level. But could you imagine if we all had that
Yep.
attitude of sharing that information, showing how we're doing it and growing there? So let's talk about that. How did
Mhm.
you come up with that idea? Your team come up with that idea to say, we gonna make this thing look just like an amazing store where they don't have to feel as if they're getting a handout. They're really getting a lot of great help up.
Right. So I have always, people always, well, my normal is fancy to most, but my fancy is just my normal. So it's the
Uh-huh.
opposite for me. And one thing I have personally experienced is shame when needing help, or the way someone gives me something or act when they give it to me like I owe them something because I'm in need, and all of the things. I just, there's a lot of feels. There's a lot of trauma associated with so many things, with asking for help and needing community support, that I really wanted to change, because I feel like we shouldn't have to sit on the chair with the duct tape on it, and walk into spaces that don't smell great. All of that shit irritates me. I'm just gonna be frank with you. That irritates me, and I don't like it. And so I just made that commitment to myself. If I can't do it when it's up to standards, then I really, that's not something that I need to focus on. I can focus on it when it's up to standards, up to my standards. Let me just say that. And I
Yeah,
just want people to see social support services. I want our clients to feel like social support services is not what I just described, that it's something different.
yeah,
We plan to give them shopping bags. Um, you know, this day, there's a little price list. And when we get stuff donated, we ask for new. We don't typically take in used, because some of the used stuff, people know they should have threw that stuff away and they giving
Yeah.
it to us. Nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
So we typically take in new. We leave the tags on it, so you can really, if it came with a tag, we leave the tag on it, so you can just feel like you really having this shopping experience. But in reality, that's like that throughout the whole entire center. I'm a manifester. I know exactly who I am, who I want to be, who I work to be, all of those things, and I manifest that in our spaces. I remember when I had the 200 square foot office, I manifested that I need 10. So now we got
Girl,
over.
yes. Come on, Kate. Talk about that. Cause see, that's what I'm talking about. I remember when you posted,
Hmm.
baby. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, we walking through, we got new keys. I'm like, wait, she not gonna push it. Don't you push it. Girl, I get excited. I promise you I do. That's why I try and treat everyone with kindness because
Hmm.
it could be me needing help.
Hmm.
Absolutely, Monica. Monica Williams from Candace Way Out
Hey,
is in the building. Yes. I mean, like, yeah, Monica them doing great things over there.
Monica. Yes,
And I got excited when I saw they warehouse and the truck
yes.
pull up.
Hmm.
I was like,
Hmm.
come on, big truck.
Right.
Come on. Warehouse.
You see that, and you be like, see, that's gold. She got that lift gate. Like we be seeing
Listen,
things
do you
differently.
see the lift gate? Girl, I just watched the live and be like, look at him playing on the lift gate. Look at
Oh
him going
man,
up,
I
going
love
down.
it. I
Girl,
love
listen. They don't understand, honey. We get excited about when sisters are winning and doing their thing, baby. We be around
it.
here.
Yeah.
And she say about, we learned how to drive it. Listen, get in it and drive it.
Okay. Work it out. We always know how to work some stuff out. That's for sure.
Yes. So let's
Yeah.
talk about that, Kate, like that manifestation of them 200 to how many square feet now?
Yeah, we actually got a little bit over 18. So we got like the right side of the building now, from the front door to the
Wow.
back door. And it's been all strategic. I'm never one to boast, but I am one to say that I work my ass off to get what it is we have.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
will work my ass off to keep it, because I know where I came from. I still have a copy of my 200 square foot office on my keys to remind me of where it is I came
Wow.
from, just in case I forget. I will post from time to time. I remember being in church one Sunday, and the pastor said, if you want to check your process, what your progress, look at your keys. And I remember when I had no keys, and then I got a couple of keys, and then I got these keys and these keys. And I was just like, if I ever get in my feelings, I just go to my purse and check my keys, because
Check your keys.
I, as a leader, still need to be motivated to continue to do this work. We get left, we don't get thought about all the time. We are expected to show up because we have taken on this, right? This is what we do. It's embedded in who we are and what we do. But also understanding that we are important in this as well. And so when I need things like that, I have to make those things available to myself. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, girl, you doing a good job. Pat my own stuff
Listen.
on the back and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that this is what I want to do. It's not just something that I'm doing because it's the hype right now. No, this is something that, child, look, and when I ain't got nothing else, I got this, because the only thing I own out here in these streets is my story and why I do this work.
Wow.
So that is something that no one can take away from me, but it's also the very thing that motivates me. But building out so we have, it's the Shades of Blue Project Maternal and Mental Health Resource Center. So building out the center during a pandemic allowed me to really have time in that space. We gutted that office space and took it room by room and rebuilt it. And
Wow.
so room by room is what I did, a little bit at a time. I'm a bargain shopper, y'all. So I'm really good at finding really good prices, but I took it room by room, a little bit at a little bit. I didn't have no push to be like, oh, you gotta get this done between. No, we took it a little bit by a little bit, but
Hmm.
it allowed you to be able to walk through that space and feel what has been prayed over. I walk them floors so much that there's probably a walk pattern, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Me walking and praying and manifesting, walking and praying and manifesting,
Hmm.
all the way into 21 till we open up them doors. But it's that, because you can work really, really hard to get things, but also know that in reality, you also have to be protective of what it is you're building, not in a way to shut people out, but
Hmm.
also in a way to recognize when things may come up against you. Some things you can't do, the circle of control. Some things you can't do nothing about, but the things you can, let's be wise to pay attention because attacks are real. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Someone can look at you, and the reality of it is, don't nobody want to walk in these shoes I had to walk in because sometimes them shoes didn't even barely have a bottom. So you don't want to walk in these shoes. And I'm being real serious. And so when we start to think about that or wanting or thinking that somebody has more than us, know the story behind
Hmm.
that. And that it's their season. And that if you keep working, it'll be your season. Because I ain't always had what I had. It's because the world reset itself, is how. But I didn't have to get ready because I was ready. So all of those years prior to 2020, I was just preparing, right? And then now this is my season.
So let's
Because
talk. Wait right there, Kay.
hmm
Let's talk about that 200 square foot of the faithfulness in that season. How
hmm
long were you there in that 200 square foot? But let's even talk way before then, because, like, I love what you stated there. And y'all, I hope that you're paying attention, because this right here is the word. Take your nuggets out, your nuggets down, write it down, understand that this is really serious, that you have to understand that there is a work process there. Faith without works is dead. The Bible speaks of that, and it's the truth. So
hmm
let's talk about that, Kay,
hmm
because it's real good for us to chill and talk and get excited about the bigger portion. But let's talk about that small. And it speaks about do not despise them small beginnings. So,
Oh yeah.
how were you faithful and really seriously consistent in that small space?
So this okay. So let's rewind before the 200 square foot space. I used to meet and do support groups in the park. They could bring the kids. They could go on the playground and play, and we would sit at the picnic table and have support group. That's how we
Mm,
started. And then, this Texas heat has always been this Texas heat. I was like, okay, let me see if I can get in some of these library rooms. So we used to hold group over there at Cashmere Garden before that when it got remodeled and all the things. So we would, and then the Airline Park library and then the Barber Bush
yeah.
library. I mean, I was just going from library to library. So from the park to the library to my 200 square foot feet that felt like a million square feet. In reality, I used to come in there and work in that little space, and we used to get stuff done. And it didn't even seem small. I had a desk, and I had somewhere to store diapers until we distribute them every other Saturday. And we've been consistent. So there are some things you got to be consistent on, and you got to choose that for
Yep.
yourself. My consistency looked like showing up, being there, being committed to this thing, even when the people don't come. I can't stress that enough. I think people get so offended when people don't come.
Ooh, please
Keep
talk there. Please talk there.
keep showing up. The people gonna come. Believe me. You're gonna go one day and you're gonna be like the people gonna be standing outside. It happened to me. I'm telling y'all something that I know. We used to do we've been doing second Saturday standing for the past 8 years.
Mhm.
And in the beginning nobody was coming, right? If we didn't have a group or something and we needed to give them out like that or whatever. And then one day I showed up and it was 15 people standing in, they had formed a line. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, so y'all come on in. And I
Yeah.
still had my paper application. Y'all come on in. I was excited, like, okay, okay. And then they started telling people, and it's
Yes, because
been like this organic growth of somebody told somebody, and that's how they end up finding us and knowing that we are who we say we are. We have minimal qualifications, minimal because again I've been in the hardest point of my life was losing my child, and then what life then dealt me afterwards,
yeah.
and having to ask for help and being told, oh, you make like $2 too much to receive assistance. I don't need the assistance for a lifetime. I need it for this moment in time. And still being told that they couldn't help me. So I don't want to create more barriers for folks, because you know what, Miss Nikki, it's not for me to try to figure out if you're gonna take these diapers and do this with it or take these clothes. That's not for me to do, child. Look here.
Ooh, help us
That is
there.
not a part of my 5%. My 5% is to give you the resources and what it is you need, what you say it is you need. Now, what it is you may not, and all those other things, that's not for me to be concerned about. But we don't let nobody run game or nothing because you know they'll try it. But in reality, we make you now. We'll
That's
make
that
you.
cashmere going fifth wall up
I
in
was
us.
gonna say we'll make you feel bad because if you're doing something that's out of order, just know you taking from somebody else that actually could be in your spot. So
Yep.
you know, don't do that. Let's not do that because
Yeah.
I'm real lenient with how we do things because of
Right.
that. Because I've been in those shoes before, but mm-mm. I don't know. It's just this full circle. How we want to be treated is how we should treat others. Like no matter what, I believe that respect is given and not earned. Now I'm gonna give it to you, and if you diminish it and take away from it, that's on you. But I'm gonna respect you
Not for me to
outright.
judge.
Yep, that's it. Not yep, that's it. Because they will run games, Cheryl. They certainly will. And we get them caught up and wrapped up and be like, now don't do that no more. We still love you, but don't do that no more.
They
Yeah.
be
So
they
yeah.
be having more games than the PlayStation 5. Come on now. They be inventing some new games. You be like, come on, baby. I've seen this before. Let's do
Yes.
something else.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
And I
It's,
love that. I love that because that is important. And you guys, again, we are talking to Kay Matthews. You guys, if y'all are not familiar with this amazing young lady, please stay, hang around. She is connected. She is an amazing, amazing person. And we're talking tonight definitely about how we can help you through your mental health issues and also resources that are available for you within your community. So that's what it's
mhm.
about. This is an amazing way for us as grassroots nonprofit organization to get together, build connections. So y'all already know they call me the plug. You know that, Kay. So I'm
Mhm.
plugging us in. If you're looking to start a nonprofit organization, this is an amazing woman that you definitely would love to have in your network book. Warning, she is the real truth. So y'all know how I do it. So we come with the warning labels, Kay, because that be the point.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
learning that. Let's dive right into that too, because we've talked about how you got that 200 square foot of building, and of course the amazing glory of how God is continuing to give you more territory to
Mhm.
enlarge. And then you said that you started out with 12 states,
Yes. We
and
started
now
out with
you're
12
in
states. Now we
25 states.
25. Yeah.
So
We
that
said
means that
25.
somebody's catching on beyond your little your as I say, your little box. And
Mhm.
God has smashed that box and said, no, 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 you're going out to the nations, to the
Mhm.
people. And so, yes, ma'am, this is a conversation for that person that's sitting and saying, what do I have to give? What does my little project have to be a big impact to this world? So, okay, let's talk about that and encourage these nonprofit organizations, because we talked off camera about
Mhm.
how we really seriously want to. I'm really big about let's go ahead on and kill the virus of this separation, or I put you in the game and now you only are called to just being able to help with me. No, 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 no. Let's
Mhm.
go ahead on and let's talk about how we are connecting, resourcing. How do you go about doing your connection and resourcing?
Well, the connecting. So first of all, this work is a collective effort. I stand on collective effort because what we don't offer, we have to have someone to refer out to so that our clients get what it is they need. You don't just come
Absolutely.
to us and be like, "Oh, no, we don't do that." So we just, "Oh, sorry that you came and caught 5 buses to get over here, only to be turned away." Like I feel like that's BS. We know that happens though. So being real strategic on how we serve is important to me. But like I said, if it's something that we don't offer and we're real crystal clear about the services that we offer,
Yes,
now
Monica.
if you're in need of something else, then yes, we can do the connecting piece there for you. But it's a collective effort, Nikki. No one of us can do all of this work by ourselves. But the flip side of the collective effort is we all do have to be respected in our own spaces.
That's it.
which is
Say it
why
again. The people in the back didn't hear you.
yeah, we do have to be respected in these spaces. When we know we doing the work, it's imperative. Let's just be
Right,
honest.
Monica. So
And
true.
when you say being real, that's how real I am. And so it may anybody tell you that they can't work with Kate, that's because I read their ass and I don't play. That's it. That's really it because I am 100%, 1,000% about doing this work and it being of quality and not being half-assed and really giving people again what they need and what they want, because those two things go hand in hand. So when you really understand that, you also find that there are some people that you won't work with simply because they won't work with you.
Mm.
It's nothing
Say
other
that
than that.
part. Say that part. Say that cute part. Because, see, you know what? They don't grab that. Come on back and drive over the street and see. Go back around the corner and come on back with that. They want what?
Yeah, this one they won't work with you. It's not that you
Yeah.
won't work with them. It's ugh, unfortunately, I have seen so much, so many things around relationships that are just, I'm not gonna stay in no toxic relationship. I'm not gonna be in no toxic relationship. That's personally and certainly not in this nonprofit world.
In business. Yeah. Because
Yes,
this is business.
this is business. I've been an entrepreneur since I was in kindergarten. Y'all, I used to sell my easy bake oven cakes to my friends. So I'm an entrepreneur. That's I've been that.
Yeah.
So business wise, if the business piece is not in order, the relationship, the working relationship, and understanding is not there, then it's not going to work for a collaboration anyway. Because at some point we're going to end up parting ways or falling out and all that. I don't have that kind of energy to dedicate. I need to dedicate that energy to the work.
Right.
And so
Monica
when
said
I
some people are just in it to be seen. Yeah.
that exactly, which is
Yeah.
why most of the time now, if y'all see a video from me, let me tell y'all, my staff probably been like, "Hey, do you want to take a video?" Because me, my phone probably in the car. If not, probably in the damn office. I'd be like, I ain't even get no whatever. When you like doing it and you not doing it to be seen, like Monica said, then it's the work. I'm starting to show things now because again, when you start building, there are some things that okay, on this level, this is what I need to do. I need to show the people what I'm building so they can see. And it could be from the lens of the funder seeing, also the client seeing, like, oh, I remember when, and now they got this. There's a season for that, but that's not the whole way through, which is why
Yeah.
I only just started sharing on my personal page. Because on the personal page, people don't think you get no damn days off. If I
So,
post something, I'm out to dinner with my husband, please don't inbox me saying you need a size 2 diapers. But I'm out to dinner with my husband though right
so,
now.
so, so you get the boxes too?
Yes. So I have to be real, I be real, selective about when I do share something. But then I was like, okay, I'm in a different
But Kay,
season.
wait, Kay, wait. What happens when you post and say, "Stop coming in my inbox"? See, see, this is the part of the work that everybody says we too. It ain't what you said; it's how you saying it. Wait, I just posted and said, "Please don't tag me,"
But that should be
because
like
my page
logical
will get
thinking.
hacked. I just said, don't inbox me
Yeah.
because I have a place where you can connect with me, like at the email, because I got people who are sitting and waiting for that. Like, uh, keep going.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I just got kind of
No.
caught up.
No, that's why. So
She said,
half
"Woo,
of the
we I
work,
totally
yeah.
understand. Absolutely,
Let
Monica.
me tell you that part. It's not fair. Again, we dedicate so much of who we are to this work. At some
We
point, we
do.
do need to breathe, y'all. Like, come on now, come on. Like Miss Nikki shouldn't be available at 9, 10 o'clock at night, to be answering quick. I'm just saying, like, we gotta breathe too. So I be very selective. But again, in this season, I need people to see, because in order for us to continue to grow, that's just where we sit, right? But
Yeah.
I just wanna call things out, because some people get uncomfortable when you say certain things, but we have to be real. These
Yeah.
are the things that folks need to understand. And it's not just us being like, oh, she don't want to talk. No, I don't. At 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night. No, sis, I don't. But I do have a whole organization page that, believe me, someone is going to contact you back in 24 hours and
Yeah.
get you connected with what it is you need, unless it's the weekends, and we'll hit you up on Monday. But we're gonna get you connected. But it's not gonna be coming through my page. It don't work like that. It doesn't. But saying all that to say, looking like big picture all the way across all of these different elements to this work, I feel like again that subject really makes folks uncomfortable to talk about. But it don't for me. I just know how to pull back, and that's what I did. But now I'm in a season of showing a little bit more, but still being a little hesitant to be reality, because just because we nonprofit workers don't mean we always own, and that we don't need time to catch our own breath. Like, we
Ooh.
got to breathe a little bit too. In
And you know,
reality.
Kay, I had to I had to bring that balance this year. This year is the year of selfishness for me. It's the selfish year, right? And
Mhm.
that's because again that I really truly honestly pushed myself a lot last year, and where I pushed myself at, I was really honestly I exhausted my own self, and I couldn't get mad at nobody. Right? That accountability for self, I had to be very well accountable for myself. So this year I purposefully put those things in place, right? And I
Mhm.
love what you said that you have to balance out because you're a whole married woman in these streets. Big shouts out to her, babe. You're a whole married woman in these streets. And so, therefore, in order for you to have this beautiful relationship building, because you guys are still in y'all honeymoon, newlywed,
Mhm.
enjoying life phase. But in order for y'all to push and thrive there, you definitely have to have the balance there. I'm a single, ready to mingle, excited and happy, waiting patiently for the Lord. Please,
Mhm.
if you can get my tracking number from the Lord where He
Okay.
is,
I'll let them
because
know. I'll let them know.
I'm just trying to say. But still, in all, I do too have some self boundaries, and so
Mhm.
that's what I love the fact that you're saying that we have to have our own creative boundaries, and I think this is one of the things. I ain't gonna say I think I know collectively with speaking with as many founders as I talk to, this is one of those balances where people really get offended when we cannot return your call for your emergency of, like you said, needing a diaper
Mhm.
that we had already posted and said, we got free diapers today
Mhm.
from
Mhm.
12 until 2. But
Mhm.
you decide at 10 to say, do you still got them diapers? Because you know the story. You already know
Yep.
everyone's great story is I ain't on social media like that. The devil is a lie. That's
Mhm.
right. That's right,
Mhm.
Dr. Ivory. Boundaries will lose you friends. Oh yes.
Or
Say
lose
that.
you
Absolutely.
associates, because boundaries shouldn't lose you no friends. They'll lose you some associates. That's how you'll learn who your friends are. I'm
And
just
I'm
saying.
okay with that. I'm all right with losing some folks. That about to me, it really makes it easy for us not to have to go through that long. It's so hard to say
Mhm.
goodbye. Look, bye. Just go.
Okay.
Bye. I think that shortens that rule. But yeah, Kay, let's talk about those boundaries because believe it or not, there are some people that are not as strong as you and I who can make those statements and say, okay, this is what we're doing. I'm cutting you off at this time here. And also, I do find myself sometimes having to nice, nasty address it because now you've caught me outside of my nonprofit age and now you got me in my Nikki A. Kaiser age. And
Mhm.
that is I don't feel like making sure you have what you need. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm gonna do my very best. But you gonna hear my rant.
Yeah. No, Miss Nikki, I really I remember it used to be just like really bad, bad back in the years. So I stand strong on not faltering, like real strong. And I also had to learn that when people would say, "Oh, that's out of character," actually, no, it's actually my character. You just push that button, so that's what you got. So it's actually my character. If you have crossed the line, if you have just gone like logically thinking, you're not doing logical, and I'm a very logical person. So if your actions are not logical and wouldn't make sense to you, then why do them? Just because you know that we do this work and we're committed. And so if they see me in need, they're gonna Oh, Lordy. That's a struggle for me. It's a struggle to where I had to just be like, no, just stand firm on that. Don't feel bad about having boundaries. Like, don't feel
Yeah,
bad about having boundaries. I want to encourage us as leaders and anybody who is listening to this, don't feel bad about having boundaries. Like, you
yeah.
got to cut people out because they'll push you to the limit and wonder why you fail. They'll push you and then be like, huh, now what's she doing down there on that ground? Cause you just pushed her, oh, I did that. Oh, well, she'll be all right. She'll get back up and bounce back. And that's the mentality of thinking. And that again, it's up to us to cut people off, put them in, like, hey, no, follow these rules when it comes to me, so we can have better interactions for a circle or not. Simple. I call it simple. So
I
took
think
me a
that's true
long
too.
way to
I
get
think
there,
that's
but it's
simple too,
simple. Yeah, took
because
me
it
a
it,
while.
it really is simple. I
Yes,
believe it
ma'am.
really is. Because at that
Mhm.
point, Kate, like I said, it's a matter of making sure it's understood that I want to stay around longevity. I
Yeah.
don't want, I want my legacy to be so major, so grand, and so great that my mindset is so fresh where I'm able to see it. And I'm
Mhm.
not in a place where I'm there physically and people are talking about it and they have to remind me because somebody that made my mental health go out. No,
Yeah.
I want to be able to stand flat footed and be able to really seriously enjoy that moment there. And so, how do we really seriously help people to understand, even if it's possible to help them understand, or how do we help our co-laborers in this job and say, listen, you're not hurting somebody by letting them know this is my red from the five
Mhm.
heartbeats attitude. This is
Mhm.
my office hours, and this is what we're doing. How can you encourage someone who's really pretty much struggling in that boundary area there?
Though in reality, it just comes down to self being real selfish. Because the word selfish says it has self in it. So being really selfish, with what it is that you need for yourself.
Yeah,
And if you want to take calls at 9 or 10 o'clock, by all means. But how? Is it healthy for you? Like, what is it that you need for yourself is what I mean by being selfish. Like, what do you need for yourself? Like, we have to put ourselves first because that's how we give the best of who we are. But if we're never a part of the equation, then that don't add up, right? If we're disconnected, and things are steady mounting on top of us, then the next thing you know, it'll be a blow up, and then it'll be at the at the most craziest times where maybe 20 people have seen you blow up and they trying to be like, what's happening with her? She having a meltdown, she having
yeah,
a breakdown, all of those different things. But being selfish, is what has to be done. And when you're selfish, those when your boundaries come into play. And then folks can't just do whatever it is they want to do. You have boundaries. Yourself. You're putting yourself first. All those things, all those words that have self in it, self care. When you're
yeah.
doing that, those things become a part of who you are, and then those boundaries start to fall into play. Well, you know what? Because I train community health workers, right? And the one problem that they have is they answer their phone after 5 o'clock.
Mm,
They're talking about their personal phones because they have a work phone. So I'm like, well, how did the client get your personal number? So let's start with that. Like, there's levels, right? That we then
right,
have to
right.
the layers of how we got there is what you got to maneuver through to make things like completely different, like full circle. So it's that, Miss Nikki. It's being selfish, getting what you need for yourself, because in reality, that's how you're gonna be able to give better anyway. Is putting yourself first. So
Yeah.
that's being selfish. That's it.
And I agree with you on that. I think that is so important. So Kay, let's shift into that selfish mode of how, girl, I enjoy watching the videos of your family and how you guys are really truly just y'all are just too hilarious to me. Like the nephew dog Duke is something that if y'all are not paying attention, y'all gonna have to start following Kay and watching the I say the William Chronicles because
Okay.
the Matthew Chronicles, and because this family is too funny and they have a dog. and he is human. I don't care what
Mhm.
nobody say about him. He is a human being. Hey,
Mhm.
Tisha. And this guy here is so funny.
Mhm.
But how do you really seriously blend that whole entire process of your family in? Because I saw a few posts where your husband has been really truly a really big push into what you're doing. I
Mhm.
love to see you guys do your travels
Mhm.
and just the romantic moments that he gives to you and show
Mhm.
you. I really do appreciate that. And I know that when we talked earlier, how you say that you give some snippets, because I think that that's important too, that we also show people the balance of, to a certain degree, the
Mhm.
balance of that we not just all work. There's a few little play moments that
Yeah.
we have. And not only that too, I think it helps people to also understand that, like you said, they won't stay stuck in your story.
Right.
They'll be able to
Yeah.
see how the story evolves. And
Mhm.
so let's talk about that. How do we
That's
keep
it.
that balance and also that work and everything with Mr. Duke and all those kind
Mhm.
of fun things?
You know what? So Duke was I have to share the Duke story. So Duke was a puppy that my husband got. He needed a dog, not a puppy. Because puppies have to be nurtured. They like little babies.
Mhm.
And he a truck driver. So who else was supposed to take care of a dog? The flip side of that is I was afraid of dogs. I still am. I'm just not afraid of mine. So I
Yeah.
dropped Duke quite a few times. Let me just say, I told like stop all that moving, and she's like, damn, I'm a dog. I'm a baby. Like I had to work that out. Okay. Um, and then, we had Duke for a couple of weeks, and then this is how the crossover happens to Duke becoming my dog. So in reality, Duke died. He choked, and my husband was just like, he had had so many dogs, and he was like, things happen, right? So he tried to, get what he was choking off the little food. We were having him taste test the new food, and his ass choked and flipped out and started foaming at the mouth and shit. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? So my husband takes him outside and, try to revive him. And, he pretty much had called it, time of death. I opened up the door and I just bust out crying. And my husband, in all the years of him knowing me, had never seen me cry. And then all I heard was, you got to live, dog. You got to live. And put the water hose down his throat. He coughed up the little thing and then spent y'all a whole 3 weeks in a dog hospital. Do y'all understand me? And it was at that moment that my husband says that that is now your dog, and ownership has been transferred because my dog died, and this dog that came back is yours now. So that's how I I became real dog mom to Duke in that manner. And look, I have done the best as I can to raise him, but he is the epitome of me. He rolls his eyes. He breathes very hard when I say something that he does not want to hear. He's very comical. And so, yes, he is a whole person, y'all. I cannot describe this in many more ways than capturing the moments with my camera and sharing them on Facebook to let them know how bad of an attitude my dog has. But he ain't nothing but a big old scary pit bull. He is a pit
Oh
bull because
Lord
that's his
Jesus.
breed. But child, he gonna run to me to help him. He hears some voices, he bamming on the door like, "Let me in, ladies. They trying to get me." Yeah, he just a pit bull by birth, but everything else he ain't nothing but a big old baby, y'all. But
Oh
he is
goodness.
comical. He has taught me. I feel like he came at a time that I needed something for myself and didn't really know what that was.
Yes.
So that nurturing side of me, was really activated. And between him and husband, they keep me going. Like it is a lot of work to keep these two boys maintained over here.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
find a balance because what you and I had talked about earlier off camera is how I disconnect from the work, which is
Yeah.
why I'm really adamant about my boundaries. When I pull up to this house, I leave my executive director role and all those things outside because in my house is where my peace of mind is. It's where I get to breathe and it's where I just get to be Kay, Duke's mom and Troy's wife. And so
Yeah.
finding what that looked like, that was work within itself, because when you get married things are new. It's not the same boyfriend girlfriend relationship being married. is different. So you really are walking into something new and really working to find your balance. So you don't treat it. I didn't treat it like a business so
Yeah.
much. I kind of did like a first time business. Like I'm out here in these streets struggling, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I
Yeah.
have, I have my ups and downs. Luckily, I have a bougie dog. He goes to the dog hotel. Because what I learned is that sometimes he need a break from us, just like we need a break from him. So yeah, we will send him to the dog hotel and all the things. So yeah, I
Yeah.
really do. I get that they need dogs need animals need a break from humans. Just as much as sometimes but they love us just as much more when they come back. Just
Yeah.
like just like when we take breaks, right?
He's
People
a,
be like,
but
"Oh, I miss
he's a whole job in itself. Like,
you."
I was talking to a friend and they was like their pets are a whole job. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a really big job. And so
He
like
has
I
a
mean
whole
they are
schedule.
important, and so I know because in the past of being a dog owner when I was single and fancy free with no children, that was my babies. And so
Mhm.
I can remember the death of my first dog, and baby listen, I
Yeah.
called my sister at her job and she said she had I had the whole office crying, and
Okay.
they found out what's wrong. The dog died. What? I was like,
Yeah,
listen, he's a
I
dog to
know.
you, but he's my dog.
I
So
know, right? The
yes,
dynamics of that, and like you say, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. Like
yeah,
this dog is on the schedule. I had to talk with him. It took me 7 days to potty train him because I told him I was going to leave him my side if he didn't stop shitting in my house. And so it only took him 7 days to get it. And he lets me know where he need to go outside and all
yeah.
the things. And he got his 1 bedroom apartment inside here, and he live a good life.
So
He
do
gets
you think that he's an emotional support animal for you?
Yeah, I definitely because again, I still am afraid of dogs, just not afraid of mine.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, he definitely is emotional support for me in many ways. Like I said, he is what I didn't even know I needed.
Yeah,
And it was a part of that balance. Like I needed something to come home to because I could stay and work at the office. There's always something to do in this
yeah,
work, right? But no, I need to be at my house by 4:30, no later than 5, because Mr. Duke need to be fed at that time.
yeah,
And so we can't play no games about that. So it built me out. Again, it was tricky because I have a dog cam, and I used to look at the dog cam in the beginning and then want to run home because I'm less than 10 miles away from the office. So
right,
too close. I'm checking dog cameras and coming home, and the dog looking at me like, "Lady, what in the hell?" So now we got him past all of those things, but the support, the emotional piece, is definitely there. Again, something for me to look forward to in many different ways. Folks
yeah.
always, after a loss, folks gonna always ask you if you're gonna have more kids. I always say I'm practicing, but I ain't making no commitments. That's my answer to that. So yeah, that
You what? You what, Kay?
I'm
You
practicing, but I'm not making no commitment.
practice with
It's
no
the one,
commitment.
yes, it's the one thing I do not like to hear. When y'all gonna have some kids? We got one. His name is Duke, and on Sundays his middle name is Alabaster because I be needing the Lord and everybody else. Cause child, I can't even. Let me say, I can have you dying laughing with this dog
Girl,
story.
listen,
But
you know I
yes,
love it. I love it for real because but that is something that people have to realize is that just as what you said, after a loss, that is a big question that is
Mhm.
asked. Like it's a touchy subject for that moment, but yet still in all, once you tell and share your story, then they're like, okay, well, do I ask? Do they want some more kids? And then
Mhm.
of course the pressure of some believing that, oh, they should have more kids. Well, wow,
Mhm.
you have more kids.
Okay.
But as for
Yeah.
me and my
It's it.
body,
Okay.
we
No,
gonna be all right.
Lord, it's that especially in this work, they be like, we need a little baby mascot K. No, we don't. Duke, baby dog mascot Duke. No, I'm like, no, you know what? That was a stage that I was at in my life and
Mhm.
earlier, but just not where I sit now. But it still kind of make me feel uncomfortable when people just assume like if they say, well, how long y'all been married, and almost 2 years, and they like, oh, when y'all gonna have some kids? And if it's somebody that don't know us and then asking that, and then I mean, personally, I worry more so about the change in the dynamic of the conversation with the person who doesn't know than me hearing that in
Yeah.
reality. Because then when I got it, when I say, well, either it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in, to be honest with you. Because now these days I just be like, because we not. I don't even
Yeah.
go into the dynamics of why and all the different things, because we not. They be like, oh, okay, y'all still living a good life, and yeah, okay, however. But I feel like that question comes up, and just it can change the dynamics of the conversation, especially if you don't know who you're asking it to, and you just assume marriage. It's like, I guess it's the nursery rhyme. First comes love, then marriage,
Yeah.
then the baby carries. What are we? Five? I mean, come on now, like we again with the old things that we still apply to the right now, and it's just not
But
where
then
we sit.
do you think also, Kay, that once you share the story and the passion of someone hearing what you're saying, they're like, I'm so wanting her to have a baby. I'm so wanting
Mhm.
her to have that moment, and it's like,
Yeah, and
I
they
did
think
have
that
that
I'm
moment. I'm a
missing out.
mother.
I
I
know
am a mom.
exactly. If you would think like how I think, and that I am still a mom, not just I am a mom because I gave birth, and not negating your own biases by thinking that there's something that I'm missing out on. No, I mean, that was a part of my healing process and my
Yeah.
healing journey. Is to not feel like that because the world was telling me that that's the way I should feel.
Yeah.
So no, I don't feel like how most folks will feel like I'm missing out, or I really want her to have that happy experience. In reality, there's not a lot of happy experiences in childbirth for Black women right now. Again, like I said earlier,
Yeah.
we die 3 to 5 times more than white women, and it depends on what state you're in. Up in New York, 14 to 15 times more than white women from child. So it's a little scary out here.
Yeah.
But nevertheless,
Because
it's not.
they're not believing in the pain. They're not believing in
Yes.
that pain level. And it truly is it's a huge difference. I mean, each birth is different. And
Hmm.
of course, a person's intake of pain levels is much different too. And so that's one of the major things that I do know, being a mother who gave birth to two children, and then a mother who has miscarriage kids, is baby, listen,
Hmm.
it hurt, all of it,
Hmm.
you know,
Right.
sitting on the table twice, dying, trying to
Hmm.
bring life, and
Hmm.
then the fact is of 1 minute you're pregnant, and then bloop, okay,
Yeah.
no, it's done. And
Yeah.
so I just know that we do have to keep that awareness, and also, like you said, take it into consideration of what really truly are we educating mothers? How are we educating, especially our African American mothers? How are we educating and really truly giving them that information? So I love what you guys do at Shades of
Oh
Blue
yeah.
to really honestly give people that reality conversation and process them through. Because it is
Hmm.
some people, Kay, that just make decisions and say, I don't want to try this no more.
Yeah. And
I
that's
mean, just
okay.
think about
Like.
that person. Think about that person who has a unique situation.
Hmm.
Like, we was just practicing. Practice
Hmm.
got out of order.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
just went a little too different. And so,
Yep.
boom, I get pregnant, and now, boom, um, I have to go through the process.
Yep.
Stillbirth happens, and let let's just forget about it. But at the
Yeah.
same time, no. Why do you want to
Hmm.
put that kind of pressure to that person? I think we have to stop and you can help me with this. I think we have to stop this whole entire idea of let's make it better. Let's make it better with the replacement. No,
Yeah.
I
So.
love each individual child
Yep.
of mine differently because they all brought something different to me. But at the same time, I'm not looking to bring a replacement in because this child came along.
Right. And so having that understanding and knowing that personally it would be that would be a part of it, right? I
Mhm.
know that for myself. And so it's just not something that I want to do. Like I have bodily autonomy. Fuck what laws say. I still have bodily autonomy. I don't care what's illegal or not. I know mentally, what that could look like, what that could feel like. I know that it would be a scary ass process for me. It wouldn't be it could be this glorious thing, but what has happened in the past will always be at the forefront of that experience, and it will overshadow some things. So these are, look, I'm telling folks now, if y'all sitting there trying to think, I didn't already thought through all these. This my experience. So I done
Right.
thought through all these things, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you no. it's
Yeah.
not it's not where I'm at. It's not where I'm trying to go. And that just kind of is what it is. And then, like I said, most people feel uncomfortable when you be like, no, I don't want to do this or that. And you give like your real truth. They like, oh, well, I didn't mean it like that. And I'm just like, no need to get, I can correct or I can advise you of how I feel. But when it comes to these
Yeah.
different things, it also comes to how we talk, our education. Like, so for us, I'm big on educating folks to advocate for themselves. So
Hmm.
even with our birth rates and being atrocious in this city and state and others, we actually created a card. So there are these top five things that black women are dying from in childbirth. We put it on a
Okay.
card so they could ask their doctor about it. Because most oftentimes they're not even having these conversations with us. They should be having these conversations with
All right, you guys. I believe her Kay's she's gonna come back. I believe we hit something there. She's gonna come back in, and of course, yeah, self avocation. There she is. She's coming back. Let's put her back in. All right, Kay.
oh, that universe didn't want me to talk about this, but I'm still gonna talk
Listen,
about it.
listen. We're gonna talk
Yes.
about. That's what I'm saying. Oh no, we.
Look at that.
That's
Pick
right,
right back up
Tisha.
where I left.
Self avocation is the key. Right where you
Yes.
pick up. Right back where you left. Yeah.
No, it's us giving our women the ability to advocate for themselves and ask these doctors that have been, put in these positions to help us and keep us alive, all these different things, holding them accountable because part of it is them. Part of them is the system in which they are, working in and all these different things. So advocating, helping us advocate for ourselves is what we do by these cards. We also have a postpartum card where for about a year and a half we took in how do you want someone to actually ask you about your mental health where you can understand it, not these scales and these ph, all these numbered
Mhm.
all that bs. Okay, so we created one that it's based off the scale so it can be in comparison so they can get the numbers, but the wording is how we need to hear it, to understand it and really honestly answer truthfully, because so many women don't tell the truth. Because you know what, Miss Nikki, asking for help comes with consequences for black folks most of the time.
Ooh.
And so when we are not equipped with what it is we need to fight that, then they can do whatever and they can do us however. And so we want to change that. And so we equipped our clients with these things to advocate for themselves, because it's sad that we do have to damn push the baby out, go through all these different things and try to figure out what you over here doing and making sure I'm getting all of that. And who wants,
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. So for us, it really is about teaching our clients or educating our clients on how to advocate for themselves, so that they are not dismissed, that they are not listened to, and that they can tell folks, no, this came, you see this card, it came from an organization. I didn't just make this stuff up. But I mean, in general, they should be educating us. But they typically would, in they 6 to 7 minutes they have to conversate with us. It ain't about educating us. It's about checking all the little boxes and going on to the
Right.
next
Right.
client. So we got to take
And
our lives in our own hands at the end of the day.
let me ask this here, Kay. Do you find that in your role of advocation, because that is something that we do as well in our organizations, is advocate for some type of cause that is really truly either is going to drive you. I always say it always drives you from your passion
Hmm.
from your pain. But either way it
Hmm.
go, you are really truly a voice for something.
Hmm.
So do you find yourself with building great network with adequate doctors who are really serious about helping people, especially in African American communities, to get the numbers, information, and the knowledge out to the people? How
Yes.
are those relationships coming?
Um, I work heavily with like UT Health. I have a really, really good partner that we do a lot of the birth work, birth justice work within our communities and really changing the dynamics around there. And I am, so we talked about our camera about being the person when they walk in a room, people breathe hard because they know I'm coming with, I ain't playing no games with y'all.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to keep sitting in this room and y'all talking about the same things. Ain't nobody giving nobody no solutions. I don't want to
Right.
sit. I didn't get up early in the morning for this, so I didn't come in here midday for this. Um, so building out the relationships with like clinics and doctors is something that's ever growing for us because they are a part of the system, and you have to have some of these folks that are within this system because you know a lot
Yeah.
of this that we experience is systematic racism. Um, Having partners within the systems is like imperative to this work because when our clients are struggling or I went here and this was my interaction, I need to know somebody I can pick up the phone and call and say, well, my client ain't coming back for this doctor's appointment because this was the treatment. You
Yeah.
know, it starts with the person who answers the phone. So everybody from your receptionist down to the janitor need to be trained because y'all need to learn how to interact with people. In the 6 to 7 minutes that doctors have to interact, okay, take a minute of that to be compassionate with the person that's sitting in front of you who may be rejecting because they're scared, but you ain't even take time to even understand and realize
Yep.
that you just doing whatever you want to do. So no, it's a part of this process that we work with doctors and nurses. We train hospital systems, leaders all around the world, full circle, on a method that we created that's just simply about what do you need for yourself, because
Yeah.
what you need for yourself, then you'll be easily better to return to give to your client that's sitting in front of you. Because let's remember, the tables at any time can be turned, and you could be sitting in that chair too. And remember how you treat people,
That's
and what
it.
those interactions are. So, mm-hmm.
Because it is.
Accountability.
It really is. It
Mm-hmm.
really is, Kay. It's important and exactly um like our people perish for lack of knowledge. Our
Yeah.
African American communities, especially our um families who don't have that
Mm-hmm.
support of someone to say, hey, here is the information that you need to understand what level you're on when it comes down to your health and the care that you receive. Were you okay with, how they really, truly, honestly, like I remember when you used to go into the hospital preparing yourself to have the baby, you used to go on the tours. And that was
Mm-hmm.
a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
You would go. They would set up the setting for you, the room. And not only the room will be set for you, but you're going to meet the nursing staff. The doctor is going to, come and be there to, just kind of meet and greet with you. Also, they're going to have every entity that's going to come around and they're going to have a meeting, some kind of conversation with you. I remember when I had my children, and I still remember the anesthesiologist's name. Her name was Kim,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Kim Beldrin. Beldrin was about making sure I wake up, making sure she put me to sleep. And I told her, I said, Dr. Kim, it is your job to wake me up because you about to put me to sleep. And when I
Mm-hmm.
wake up, I want to see you. So
Mm-hmm.
that was important, that relationship was there, even from even the nutrition staff, the kitchen staff. They even came up and had something to say. So I think it's all important that we get back to a place where we are really truly building relationship and making sure that we're concerned. I was a high risk pregnancy. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, it was
Mm-hmm.
very much well noted that you are definitely going to have some issues during this time of delivery. My
Mm-hmm.
doctor, I was blessed to know that, hey, he was the chief of the surgery area for high risk. So I was blessed to have him as a specialty and the chief of the area. So that was a little difference, but at the same time, when he wasn't there, the possibilities of me possibly delivering with another doctor, they already knew. And of course, my family was big about advocating for what it was that I was needing. But what about that person just don't have that kind of support to that level? That's something, Kay, that I always talk about. Yes, trauma informed care, healthcare professionals needed to be aware of the trauma. Some patients have been exposed to. Absolutely,
Mhm.
Tisha. Tisha
Mhm.
Jenkins is an amazing person. I'm not sure, Kay, if you know Tisha, but Tisha is someone who really, truly, she is one about mental health and an advocate. She does a lot of great things in domestic violence and mental health, and she is a keynote speaker. And we say she's one of those greats to the show that we do look to her to give us a lot of information. And
Okay.
so, yes, it is important that we do pay attention to all those traumas, right?
Oh yeah, trauma informed care is imperative. I hear it's just like
Hmm.
when you asked me earlier about the ideas that I come up, for the boutique and things like that. The trauma of of being younger and seeing things. I was always the child that asked why. My mom used to get so embarrassed, like, "Girl, don't ask these people why it's dirty in here or why it's like that." And I was like, "Why not?" And she'd be like, "Cause I said so." But I still would be like, "But so that's not an answer." So needless to say, I stayed in trouble, but I'm still the why kid. I'm still like why. And then if I didn't know why, then it helps to guide me as to, well, okay, well, let's not do that, right?
Yeah.
But it's all of that knowing and understanding culturally a lot of different things that can come up against us that can also hinder us in many ways. Like the myth about black people don't go to therapists. We know that to be BS.
Child,
What
yes.
we do is we don't tell you, but we certainly will go. We just don't tell you because it's been stigmatized,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's
But
all
you
of
know me. I tell people all the time, honey, Jesus and therapy, they go together. I goes and
mhm,
lays, talks to
mhm.
my people because I can only go so far with the group,
Yeah,
with the clique.
exactly. Yeah, that's true because you know what you need. So we have to be able to understand that we have to identify what we need, and it's not going to be no one size fits all. It's not going to be no one or two things. It's going to be a plethora of things.
Yeah,
But you got to be able to identify and understand like that's okay. And what that understanding is, because a lot of times working with clients, if something is rejected, we have to again approach it from a trauma informed care interaction. Like, okay, if this is happening this way, let's see, let's ask this question, or maybe it's this. You got to keep digging. You just kind of
hmm,
got to again break through those layers because we don't know
yeah,
what has happened in the past and what has been their other interactions with other organizations or other individuals, whatever that looks like. You don't never know who gonna walk through your door. Tell my staff that all the time. You got to be prepared for anything because you never know. We can do all the pre-screening in the world, but it ain't gonna always go on that application. It's when you start to interact and build out the relationships that you really start to unmask some things and then understand that open wounds cannot be left open. Like if there's an open wound that is exposed in one of the sessions, we got to get you into we got to get you into triage real quickly because
right.
I don't want you to leave more broken than what it is you came through the door, because we have figured out some things, right? uh, so that's another part of that resource piece that I want to touch on, because if I'm coming into an organization to get rental assistance and I done came all the way over there and I get there and they don't have rental assistance and they don't have nowhere to send me, they just don't do it right. That's a really shitty feeling. And
Yeah,
so understanding of, again, how you interact, what you put out there, what you bring to the table, and then, just really bring it full circle of how we network between each other, knowing what it is you do. So then, okay, you know what? This is what you showed up for. We don't offer it, but let me call this person. Let me
yeah,
send the email to this person. So
yeah,
again, I don't cause you more trauma.
yeah.
When it's all said and done, you came to me for help, and I didn't do nothing but add more things to your plate to have to deal
Ooh,
with.
and
Um,
that is I think that is something that we have to pay attention to, that especially like when you said your emergency may not be my priority.
mhm,
However, I definitely should navigate you through some type of way of making sure that it's done. Um, I know one major thing, Kay, that I definitely would love to see in the perfect world of change. Stop telling people we don't have the resource when we're looking at dead smack in the face.
Right.
Stop saving resources. Stop saving. You sitting there looking at that water bottle saying, "We don't have water. Do you not have water for me?
Right.
And this water is for Kay, or do you
Right.
not have water? Period."
Yeah.
Like, I'm noted to give it away because what we holding it for?
Right. No, that's a thing.
That's
It's
why I
so
always say
funny. It's like
I'm not a
recording
VIP. I'm
resources.
not the VIP organization. We cannot hold anything for you. Like, no, if you really need these things, you got to come and get it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, stop making up 30,000 excuses on
Mhm.
why you cannot show up for yourself. It's free.
Mhm. Yeah. No,
Like,
I'm in
no,
complete
you,
agreement with you on that. Because my thing
yes,
is,
honey,
hey, but
exactly.
if you maxed out our list or something in that sorts and then you don't come, I'm just thinking about the people who could have been in that spot. Like, okay, you take it. Now we have a bigger issue. So we got to be real with ourselves. We have
Yeah.
protocols in place to just be like, hey man, third time's a charm. If these folks keep saying they're gonna come and they don't come by the third time, we got to move on because that's holding up what somebody else may need today, and they having to continuous to wait because somebody, just holding folks accountable, in reality is what that comes down to. Yes, we are offering the services and we are serving, but there's a commitment level to just showing up too, in that respect as well. So that
Let's talk
thing.
about sharing, Kay, because that's
Hmm.
important too. And Monica Williams is on here from Candy's Way
Hmm.
Out. Big shouts out to her.
Yes.
She and I, we share quite often with each other, and myself and a lot of other nonprofit organizations. We share a lot. I
Hmm.
think that is important too, as far as when we share together, sharing resources, sharing donations, sharing
Hmm.
things. A lot of people give me this asking question of, Nikki, how do you do what you do? And when I do start pouring and saying, and my expectation is what it is, it's like, hey, I want to help you because you've expressed your need to want to be helped and you want to grow. How do you build, like you said, that relationship to say, okay, I'm going to share with you, but I also need you to understand the importance of when I'm giving to you, I need you too to show up for yourself too. So,
Hmm.
so how does that work with you?
Reality, you just kind of gotta ask us. I mean, if yeah, I'm gonna be completely upfront with you. If we got it, we got it. If we don't, we don't. It's really that simple. But that comes down to the networking and the relationship building. That if it's socks that you need, and we know we got a shit ton of socks, girl, come get these socks. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like it's just like really that simple. Like there's no red tape to it. Besides, you mentioned Monica, she gave us some breast pumps and bottles and things
Ooh,
like that.
yeah.
Those are the
Girl,
things that
wasn't
we
that a
put.
bless?
Yes, those are the things that we put in our care packages on a daily going out the door. I was like, okay, so we don't have to, skip a month, things like that. So no, in
And that was, I
reality.
mean, that was so a blessing. I mean, I was like, man, I have a few parents that are in need of a few things, and
Mhm.
I have some new babies and everything. We service everyone in the family, but I
Mhm.
was thinking to myself, like, this would be an amazing network for the persons who this is what they do. Big shouts out to Jess Alante. Um, I was like, girl, listen, reach out to Jess, reach out to Darlene, reach out to these persons, and let's get to moving and networking, because these are things that are very much helpful to the families we serve.
Mhm. Mhm. No, it's really it's that.
She
I
said
don't
I
know.
have more coming this Wednesday.
Oh.
Please put us down.
Okay. I again, I ain't hoarding nothing. I'm one of them people now. I do get a little weird. I ain't gonna lie though. I get a little weird when we get a little low. I'll be like, okay, so
Don't we all look? Don't
but
we all? I think that
yeah.
I don't think you can sleep well at night. If you sleeping well at night and your stockpile looking low, listen, I
Oh,
need you. I need you not to be sleeping. If you,
okay.
I cannot sleep. If I'm looking
Yeah,
at the
okay.
stockpile, it's like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, we don't have
Mhm.
enough. Backpacks is our thing, care package,
Mhm.
family care package is our thing. So we don't have enough in there. We looking like, wait. That
Yes,
means we
ma'am.
short some families.
Okay, yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's the truth. I'd be like, now wait a minute. Okay, my staff be sometimes have to talk me down off the ledge. I'd be like, so how many staff ones we got? Oh Lord. Okay, so hold on. I'll be back. Give me a
Yeah.
week. Give me a week.
Yeah.
Give me a week. But yeah, it's that because again when you really serving from your
Right.
heart and all the things, those kind of things, like you said, if you sleeping in your stockpile, though, I don't see how you doing it because over here
Yeah.
I'm struggling. I'm coming up out my sleep thinking of ideas to put in my little notepad
Listen.
to
Listen.
figure things out. Because one thing we gonna do is figure things out. But it's also one of the things I'm tired of having to always do though. Just being honest, coming from like a funding perspective, I'm tired of always having to work shit out. I need like, give your girl a little bit of an ease into some things. So that's one of them big things I'm over here manifesting in many different ways. Because we don't have a shortage of clients, but sometimes there's a shortage of supplies to serve,
Mm-hmm.
but we ain't got a
Mm-hmm.
shortage of people that need to be served. That's the
Yep.
thing. So the
Yep.
the adding up don't be, that math don't be
Yep.
mathing
My math ain't
sometimes.
mathing. Yeah. Yeah.
But then we figured out,
Absolutely.
but getting to that point where it's not, such a struggle from time to time is the part in which I'm working really, really hard with getting the organization in that way, where funding is something that is, on a continuum cycle. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I said, we're gonna do the work and it's gonna get done. But still, your girl would like a little breather sometime,
Absolutely.
time to
And
time.
it's
So
coming.
yeah,
I told another young lady, I really truly encouraged her and I said, you know what, one particular day of time in life when we know it's gonna happen, well, we will not be sitting around worried about do we have enough funding. We're gonna be worried about just what you said. Have we served enough people?
yeah. Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
we already know the Bible speaks of it. The poor is gonna be there. We will always have somebody
Mhm.
with a special situation and a need to be able to serve them. So
Mhm.
that's something we will not be without. We will not have somebody to serve, but we definitely will need to have the finances. And of course, if God gave you the vision, you know He's gonna
Mhm.
make the dollar
Oh
to
yeah.
provide for it,
Oh
right?
yeah. Exactly. That part I know.
Yeah, and He
Yes,
does. He
man. He
really
does.
truly
Yes.
does.
He shows up right on time. Sometimes even like right there under at the what they call it, the 12th, 11th hour, he there. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, okay,
child.
there you go.
Yeah, because He
I
does. He
wouldn't
really truly
worry,
do.
but I'm still human at the end of the day. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like I can remember um when we started out with the backpacks, that one backpack. Oh Jesus, girl! And I said, looked in that corner like, where the bags? Where the backpacks at? Where they at?
Mhm.
Well, I can honestly say with pride and joy now, we are lacking nothing when it
Mhm.
comes down to having the backpacks that we need because we were faithful over the few, very grateful, and we're still evolving. And
Yeah.
so I think that is amazing. Kate, tell the people how they can get in touch with you. I want you to go on and just encourage these families.
Mhm.
Tell them how they can get in touch with you. Give them their handles. Tell them
Yeah.
something that they need to know that's probably like pressing in you to say, okay, I just need you to know this. Encourage a grassroots organization. I'm gonna give you the mic, the flow, and you do what
Okay.
you do, and let's get these people encouraged.
So resources, let me tell y'all, I am a stickler for making life easy when it comes to what you need to get to qualify from us. All you need to do is fill out our application. It is on our website, so shadesofblueproject.org. All of our social media is Shades of Blue Project, so you can follow us, all of those good things. But to receive services, go to our website and click on the baby supplies. You fill out an application. One of the case manager calls you back. And in reality, they're confirming what you put in the application, and then we set up either a time for you to come in, and we do mail outs for out of state clients. So it doesn't really matter where you are, you can still get services from us. We make it super easy. You can come 6 times a year, no questions asked. And after that, we just ask that you volunteer, like volunteer to help us keep doing this work in this capacity by showing up for us as we show up for you. And then as far as the leaders that are on here right now, I just want to encourage y'all to keep going. That's it. Like that's the biggest part of the battle is showing up. But you also have to know when you need to get rest for yourself, when you need to pause, not stop, but when you need to pause for yourself, that's important. And just really being selfish with your self care. And so all of that to say self is very, very important while we're out here serving our clients. Get what you need for yourself because that's going to make us better, stronger leaders. When we are rested up, we can go, for days and days on days, you know what I'm saying? But let's not go days on days without resting. But understanding that resting and getting what we need for ourselves is just as important as what it is we are lending our hands to our clients. We need this too. So staying connected and building a relationships and network that's strong and solid as your foundation. Like that's imperative. Um, there's no shortage of folks out here. Collectively working together is a big part of it as well. So if we on the same page, let's work together. If we about this business, let's work together. That's really it. I say that's really it. In a way that because it's simple, a lot of stuff we can sometimes complicate by just being people in general. But the reality is we don't have to complicate things so much. Like there's a way for us all to get what it is we need without feeling like we're competing against anybody because the only person I'm competing with is the old me and I don't never want to see her no more. So I try to keep her at bay. But that's the only person competition wise that I'm competing with. And so a collaborative effort is really, really key to continuing to build out our communities because what I know for sure is folks are depending on us, y'all. They need us, but they also need us to show up as our whole selves. And we got to get what we need in order to do that. So, again, you can find us at shadesofblueproject.org and across all social medias at Shades of Blue Project.
I'm excited. Thank you so much. Like, I'm
Thank
excited. Thank you
you.
so much for just being amazing, Kay. I want to publicly say thank you for being amazing. Thanks for staying in the game. Thanks for always, always showing up for the community and for yourself as well.
Mhm.
I am so proud of you.
Thank
I
you.
don't say it a lot, but girl, I'm proud of you. I cheerlead for you every day. I definitely do spend a lot of time on your website
Mhm.
sharing your information because it is important. This is something that you do and
Mhm.
you do it effortlessly and I really truly enjoy what you do and I just thank you so much for being who you are.
Thank
Don't
you.
change, don't
Mhm.
stop, keep going because it is truly the authentic self of who you are that
Yeah.
we need people that are in this game that are going to be authentic and is really truly going to continue to push people to that
Mhm.
level and to that place. Just know they're watching
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
child, just tell them to keep the popcorn popping and
Right.
keep watching because the movie reel is rolling, honey. And
Okay.
what you don't see value to, somebody else finds value to it. And soon the world will know. I've
Yes.
been on my Noah storm. I've been on the Noah train, letting people know soon it's gonna rain. Soon the world
Yeah.
will know, and they will
Mhm.
be able to see Kate, and they will see you in all of who you are, all the shades of blue, because
Thank you.
somebody sees you,
Thank
somebody
you.
knows, and you've been standing on some major platforms, and I am so grateful that you are doing it. So keep going, girl.
Thank
Thank you for joining us
you.
tonight.
Yes, I
Thanks for taking out
appreciate
this
the
time and
invite.
tell nephew Duke we love
I
him
will.
and I look forward to seeing his chronicles and definitely again just continue to love. Tell the hub baby we say thank
Yes.
you for allowing you that opportunity to come on because again, this is a Sunday and I say that all the time to every married woman that comes on our show and married man to let them know that yes, it is where we are honorable to your husband, to your wives and saying yes, thank them for allowing that because again, this is personal time and this is time that you can be spending with your family. So I appreciate you,
Thank
girl. Thank you
you.
so
I
much.
appreciate the opportunity.
Yes,
I always
ma'am.
love you. We are rooting for each other to win. They say
Yeah,
I move for everybody black. We all gonna win. Done deal.
really. And girl, I'm just loving that transformation of that body and all the stuff you do. I say, baby, she out here winning in these streets.
Well,
And yes, I need
I
that dress.
and I say
I
I
need the
lost
dress,
heavy.
ma'am.
Yeah, I lost heavy, so I gotta win. That's my
Girl,
payoff. I lost heavy, so I gotta win. Let's just keep it
listen,
going.
and
So
I
yeah,
mean you're rocking it. You're really
thank
rocking it,
you.
and that's what it's about, that confidence and showing up for our lives and really
Yeah.
being great. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for our amazing guest, Miss Kay
Thank
Matthews. Have a
y'all.
great night, Kay.
You
Thanks
too,
for
Miss
joining.
Nikki. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Listen, you guys, did y'all enjoy that? Kate Matthews is amazing. Her organization is amazing. And to have someone to come on our show to help us tonight to really seriously navigate through the mental health aspects of helping mothers, maternity, just going through that maternal state of just really seriously having some support. If you're looking for an amazing, amazing person to help you through that tough time and just really seriously help you to navigate through how to continue on the great opportunity of being a parent, or you may have lost a child. Kay Matthews amazing organization, Shades of Blue Project, is available for you. Go to their website, www.shadesofblueproject.org, and definitely connect with her organization. And they have some amazing resources. Listen, I want us to really, truly take time out to love on ourselves. Just like Kay said, we are being selfish this year and really loving on ourselves so that we can be a big love and help to someone else. You can't be amazing to someone if you're not taking care of your own self care, right? So let's do what we have to do and take care of ourselves. Thank you for joining me tonight to our nonprofit organization, grassroots organizations. I want to say, God bless you. Thank you. And continue on to do the great work in our community. Soon the world will know. They will see how amazing you are. And I look forward to the day when we're all able to really seriously function. And that is just faith uniting together. Nonprofits are coming in and doing a change in our communities so that we can unlock the keys of change. If you want to get involved with myself at Simply Her Movement, if you want to get involved with Kay at the Shade of Blue Project, if you want to get involved with Candace Way Out, Monica Williams, if you want to get involved with all of the amazing persons who I posted earlier on our page about these great grassroots organizations in Houston and surrounding areas, all you got to do is click on my page, click that post, and say, listen, I want to get involved. We are always in need of volunteers. We are always in need of financial donors. We're always in need of in-kind giftings. We're always in needing to network and connect. We do so much better together. Together we win. So let's connect. That's the purpose of this show tonight, is just to really seriously highlight and show how we as these grassroots organizations, we really truly can win at a major level by coming together. We all have somewhere, we all have something of passion, and we all have a purpose that we must serve each and every day. I'd rather do my great work with a friend like you. I'd rather do my great work with a community partner like you. I'd rather do my work with people who really, truly, honestly want to see those who do not have all what they need to come and step up and grow to that level where they should be. Do you want to join in this movement? All you got to do is just go ahead on and connect and become a part of the function. I'm so excited. And thank you guys. Have an amazing week this week. Do yourself a big favor and love on yourself. Do something really, truly amazing for yourself. I want to say big shouts out and happy birthday to my sister, Alicia Robinson. Happy birthday, sister. Have an amazing, amazing night. I hope your day was amazing, and I pray that God will give you more life. And again, enjoy this night, enjoy this day. Listen, you guys, it's not about what I say, it's about how I make you feel. And man, I hope I made you feel some type of way. Have an amazing night. Good night.